So here I'm going to do a video on how to assemble your TWH 18,000 when you get it. It's big, and it's not really that hard to assemble. The hardest part is the reeving. So the first thing you're going to do when you get it is do not take all the parts out of the box. Take out all your lattice sections and your boom, your jib, and your mast, and you're going to assemble all of these first. Not put them on the crane, but actually just assemble them. After you're done assembling them, you're just gonna put them to the side, and when it comes up they gotta put one on, you're gonna put it on. Reason why you're gonna assemble them on the ground and then put them on when ready is because it's too difficult and just doesn't make any sense to put it on, and while one part is on you screw it. It's just too hard. You're gonna put them all together at once and then just prefab it, basically. The first part that you're gonna add is your mast. The mast goes on from one long bolt, and then there's a nut at the end. You're going to put your struts or your kickstands in and connect your pennant lines. Being that there's no tension back on the mast, it's gonna sit back and the pennant lines will be slacked. Next thing you're going to do is put on your boom. The boom you're going to lay down and then put them in, and you can see the boom connects from another nut and a bolt, but there's two separate ones for each side. Now, realistically, this model does require 2 people to assemble it, but you can use one person to assemble it. One of the hardest things to do is to reeve it, string or lace it, however you want to call it. How you're going to do this is you're going to first put your boom down at a pretty decent angle. I'd say maybe around 6 inches lower than this. And then you're going to take, anything. Bungee cord, wire tie, string, rope. And you're just going to tie it on one of the cords of the boom, and you're going to tie it to this. So it almost gives the effect of the bridle. Okay? You're going to do this, like I said, to give the effect of the bridle, and it will make a one-person assembly a lot easier instead of trying to hold up the boom. Then you're going to just take your bridle and lay it on the boom or whatever. If you could even tie it on the boom so it stays in one spot, and then just string it and connect your pennants, and however. The drum that you use for the bridle is the one on the heel of the mast. Now, I believe that this luffing mast right here comes already on the crane. So the only other one you have to put on is this. So add those, and then add your jib. Your jibs, I believe it already comes assembled. It goes on by one long bolt and nut there. Now the hardest part assembly of this crane, the luffing masts. You can tell by all that string. It's just very ridiculous. It's the hardest part of assembly. They tell you to run it off this drum right here, but personally, I ran it off that one. To be honest, I can't remember if that drum came with any string in it. I'm pretty sure it did. I guess you could run it off this drum, but it just doesn't look like there's enough string. Look how much friggin' string is there. That's ridiculous. But anyway, if this drum comes with string, run it off that and put the jib at the lowest angle. Because it's just best to have it at the lowest angle because there won't be any movement in the luffing mast. If there are movement in your luffing masts, expect it to jump. And I think actually 1 or 2 of my lines jumped, which I'm gonna have to fix. But this will be your hardest part. The hook block is simple, depending on how much line you put on it. I suggest only going through 5 sheaves and the whip line. Drums, this drum right here is for the main block. I use this for my whip line. This is a little extra one. I added my own string to it. This one's for your bridle. That's for your luffing masts. This is for your gantry. The last thing you're going to do is put on your maxer. The maxer is a pain to put on. Not so much of this, but more to connect to the body. I actually took off all the catwalks over here because it was just so much of a pain to add. just ridiculous. But I mean, it's easy once you get it on there. It's not that hard. It just takes a little patience. And then add your weight. So it's relatively easy to assemble as long as you take your time. If you rush to assemble it, which everyone wants to because they want to put the thing together, it just will not work out. Especially with one person. It took me around 2.5 hours to assemble it, and when we told people, they were actually surprised. It's not really that hard to assemble. You just got to take your time with it and don't rush. But I believe out of all of my ways to assemble it, that would be the easiest. So I hope you liked it.